Hello and welcome to Wild Angle. Now this episode, it's very different. I didn't actually get a lot of really usable pictures because of the weather. It was rubbish. The forecast looked really good when we planned the shoot, and then gradually it got worse and worse as the time went on. We couldn't cancel it, so we decided to go ahead with it and show you what it's really like when you have to go out and have to try and get pictures when the conditions aren't with you. So come with me on a boat out to Bridlington in Yorkshire to see the most wonderful seabird, the gannet, which I absolutely love. Hope you enjoy it. Well, we're just heading down to the boat now with Suzie, who's going to be doing all of the filming today. She does most of the time anyway, but you never see her because she's shy. We've also got one of my best mates on the trip, Jamie, who's going to come and help us as well. I've been working with Paul, the captain, for years and years via Yorkshire Nature. Yorkshire. How's that? Yorkshire.
It's not bad.
Yorkshire Nature is the company I normally deal with, and they've given me access to the boat today. So thanks a lot, Yorkshire Nature and Steve. They run very fine trips as well. Here's Jamie.
Morning.
Physically distant, see? Not socially distant, physically distant, that's the word. And then down here somewhere is the boat. Now I wanted to use my famous line of we're waiting until the boat comes in, but the boat is already in. We learn in this game never to trust the weather forecast, and it's unbelievable how wrong it is today. But you know what? It might turn out for the good, because cloudy conditions are quite good for gannets. You get the sun too high on them, the white chest, those beautiful wings, they can really burn out. So actually against the cloudy skies, it might be really great. It's also really good in the water. And the most important thing today is that the water is calm, because I've been out here when it's not calm, and I tell you what, it's no fun at all, especially if you're in an open boat like this. But look, it looks fantastic. Look at that. How beautiful is that? I just love messing around in boats and being on the water. I just really do, and I'm so excited about today. I can't wait to show you what it's like. It's just awesome to have so many gannets around us. I'm just excited, and only one more hour to go. Well look, conditions aren't perfect, we're out here, it's quite overcast. It was a beautiful sunrise this morning. There's a gannet flying by. Beautiful sunrise this morning. You just can't help the weather, and we've got to shoot in any weather that we can. And the key here is learning how to adapt to shoot in these kind of conditions. Now obviously we're not going to get really beautiful sunny skies, but when we're going along, the cloudy sky is actually quite nice because there won't be any highlights on the gannet. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to set the camera up at about ISO 800. Okay, so I'm just going to do it now as I speak to you, ISO 800. And instead of going minus compensation that I would do normally, excuse the swell here, I'm going to go to plus compensation. So I'm just going to have a look, and I'm going to be at about +1. Okay, and what that will do, that will make the gannet nice and bright. And there are some nice dark patches of sky here where I might be able to get dark sky with a bright gannet. So that's fantastic. So you've got to adapt to all the situations that you find yourself in order to be any kind of wildlife photographer, especially if you live in the UK, and especially if you do seabirds in Yorkshire. So I'm going to use 3 different cameras and 3 different lenses. This is a 80-300 f2.8. It's fantastic because it's light and small, and 2.8 means it's quite a bright viewfinder, and I will get, hopefully, this is what I'll use for the diving shots. Now, I've also got the unmentionable lens, we call it, because I've been posting pictures on it and taking the EXIF off. This is the new 100-400 from Olympus, so it's a 200-800, so it's going to be getting gannets that are further out. And then super wide angle on the Mark III, and I'm going to use that with a screen out like that to hold over the side and hopefully get some gannets right next to us, okay? So I'm going to shoot with 3 different cameras and 3 different lenses. In conditions like this, you don't want to be changing lenses every 2 minutes because you just get water on the sensor, and that's no fun. It's about as much fun as a West Ham game when Tottenham are winning 3-0 in the first 10 minutes. That's not fun at all, I tell you. Okay, so you can see the seabirds are beginning to assemble now. We've got a mixture of gulls and gannets here. They're used to this. You know, every single boat that comes along this coast, it's rich pickings for the seabirds, and the boats are mobbed. The birds have learned. So it's really amazing to see so many gannets off behind us, and it's quite daunting as a photographer. So what you've got to do is start to focus on one gannet, okay? You focus on one in a good place, you track it coming in, and then you shoot it. So that's what I'm going to start to do. So I've noticed that the best light is out this way, not this way where we're shooting. So Paul's just going to turn us round. So we've got a much nicer angle there with nicer grey skies. It's just epic. I just love it. I said about change and adapt. Well, they're coming in from the front at a really good angle, so it's good to get the diving. And in case you want a quick tip, right? Quick tip. The one that's diving is the one that's calling. So once you see the one that's calling in the air, you follow him, and he's the one that's diving. One of the things I love about doing this is the variety of things you can do. And I've got my wide angle on here, 7:14, with the screen tilted up, and I'm going to lean over the side and try and get them coming in. Well, we're in between the runs now, and that first run was?
Awesome.
It was awesome, wasn't it? What was your favourite shot of that?
Probably the wide angle down on the edge of the water.
Yeah, so you would have seen us leaning over the edge with, well, me anyway, because I've got the screen that pops out so I could look in. The problem is that the front of your lens, it just gets soaking wet all the time. So we've got the towels lying around, we have to dry them all the time. But for me, that's part of the picture. I think a little bit of splash on the picture is good. Now, we've got the chance of doing a second run, but the weather is coming in now, but we're still going to go and do it because Jamie's a professional photographer, I'm a professional photographer, this is what we have to work with. We've decided that we can't shoot into the air because it's not really working at all, the diving, is it?
The light's not there for it.
The light's not there and stuff, so what we're going to do is concentrate pretty much on the wide angle. Now I'll do this before the chaos starts. I've got the screen tilted up, I've got the focus right next to here because it's a wide angle at 5.6 on the Olympus. I'll get a really good depth of field. I've got ISO 800 and I've basically got to just hang on to it with two hands for dear life because a gannet could knock the camera out of my hands. I don't want to strap because I can't get down low enough. So this is the technique. Just doing this. And you just got to fire the shutter when you see a gannet near you and hope for the best, okay? That's literally what it is. But these low angle shots now are the only things to get in these light conditions. And so you've got to adapt, and that's what I'm going to do. And it's fun. This is Derek the seagull, okay? But we're going to call him
Stephen,
because it's Stephen Seagull. Derek is a perfect photographic subject for doing high key images. So I'm on plus 2.7 stops, very, very bright. And all I'm getting is Derek and his bill and his beautiful light. It's awesome. Aren't you, Derek? You like Derek? It's Derek, isn't it? Not Stephen, it's a Derek. You're a Derek. You're definitely a Derek. So it's a Derek. You're a Derek. Well, that's the end of the run, and it was just fantastic. Now, of course, you saw the gear got absolutely drenched, and it is salt water. So just basically when it happens to you, just open everything up, dry it all off, and then as soon as you get back, take the battery out, okay, take the lens off, okay, put a cap on it and just let everything dry out and just make sure that it's not too wrecked. And the salt water is really bad at cameras, so if you don't have a camera that's sealed for it, don't do what we just did. But what a fantastic thing. I mean, I just love it, and I hope that you saw some of the things that we did there that you can use in your own photography. Mainly if it's bad weather when you go out, you know, if you've made the plan to go out, don't change it, carry on. You never know what you're going to get. Just adapt to the conditions like we did here and do it with a smile on your face like we did. I can't wait to get back and see the pictures, but right now I've got to go back and have a cup of tea. Well, there you go. You can see that's what happens when the weather turns. And I thought it was really important to show you what it was like when you have to shoot, because I know a lot of you go on these trips. You know, you arrange your work around it, you arrange your family life around it, you arrange everything around it. You can't just cancel it and only go when the weather's good. So I wanted to show you what you do to try and work with the conditions rather than against them. Now, I didn't get a lot of fantastic pictures, truth be known. I only got, well, 5 or 6 that I would probably deem worthwhile sending to the agents. But I had a really, really, really fantastic time. It was absolutely awesome. I loved every single second of it. Trust me, I did. But it wasn't the best light of any Gannet trip I've ever had. Now, in the premium content section this week for the Wild Bunch members, you'll see an analysis of the pictures that I did like on the day, my 10 favourite Gannet images of all time. So I'll be talking about those, the stories and all the tech behind them, and also looking at a couple of Wild Bunch member pictures and answering a few questions. But for the rest of you now, I'm going to leave you with this video that I made a couple of years ago, combining the wonder of Gannets diving into the water, under the water and everything else with some funky, cool music, all paid for and licensed, I hasten to add. So please have a look at this, enjoy Gannets, and those of you who are going to watch the premium content, carry on watching after. See you later, see you next time.